Hi, welcome to another episode of Econ Edge. Before the billion-dollar real estate empire, before the Apprentice, before the presidency, Donald Trump was just another real estate developer trying to make a name for himself. But one deal changed everything. In the late 1970s, a young Donald Trump took a failing New York City hotel, the Commodore, and turned it into the Grand Hyatt, a luxury destination that became his first major business success. The project wasn't just about renovating a hotel. It was a masterclass in negotiation, political maneuvering, and high-stakes business deals. Trump managed to secure a $400 million tax abatement, bring in Hyatt as a powerful partner, and transform a money-losing property into a thriving hotel, all while making himself a millionaire in the process. But how did a relatively unknown developer convince the city to give him one of the biggest tax breaks in its history? And what does this deal reveal about Trump's business style? Let's take a deep dive into Trump's first big success. Donald Trump was born into real estate. His father, Fred Trump, was already a wealthy developer, but his business was focused on middle-class housing in Brooklyn and Queens. Donald, however, had bigger ambitions. He wanted to dominate Manhattan. But there was a problem. He had no major projects to his name, and in Manhattan's high-stakes real estate world, reputation was everything. That's when he spotted his first big opportunity, the Commodore Hotel. The Commodore Hotel was a fading relic. Built in 1919, it was once a landmark next to Grand Central Station. But by the 1970s, it was falling apart, losing money every year and on the verge of shutting down. Other developers saw a disaster. Trump saw potential. His plan: buy the property, secure a massive tax break, renovate the hotel, and bring in a prestigious partner to run it. But pulling it off wouldn't be easy. Trump first had to convince the city of New York, desperate for economic revival, that he was the right person to save the hotel. He argued that with the right financial incentives, the property could be turned into a luxury destination that would generate jobs and tax revenue. Then, he made a key strategic move. He partnered with Hyatt, a globally recognized brand that had been looking to expand into New York. This gave his project instant credibility, but the real masterstroke? The tax deal. The biggest obstacle was financing. Trump didn't have enough capital to fund the project on his own, so he negotiated one of the biggest tax abatements in New York City history. Trump convinced the city to freeze the hotel's property taxes at just $250,000 per year for 40 years. A deal that saved him and Hyatt around $400 million in taxes over the lifetime of the project. The city agreed, arguing that a revitalized hotel would generate far more tax revenue through tourism and jobs than if the building remained in decline. Critics later called it a sweetheart deal, claiming Trump had outmaneuvered city officials who underestimated the long-term value of the tax break. But Trump didn't care. He got what he wanted. After securing the financing, Trump oversaw a massive renovation, turning the Commodore into a sleek, glass-covered hotel, the Grand Hyatt New York. When it opened in 1980, it was an instant success. The modern design, prime location, and Hyatt branding made it a moneymaker from day one. For Donald Trump, this deal was more than just a financial win. It was a reputation builder. He had proven he could pull off a major Manhattan real estate project. This success allowed him to go after bigger and more ambitious developments, including Trump Tower, which would soon make him a household name. But not everything about the Grand Hyatt story was perfect. Over the years, Trump clashed with Hyatt over how the hotel was being managed. He accused them of mismanaging the property, while they grew frustrated with his aggressive tactics. Eventually, in 1996, Hyatt bought out Trump's stake in the hotel, cutting ties completely. But by then, it didn't matter. Trump had used the Grand Hyatt deal to launch himself into the elite circle of Manhattan real estate moguls. The Grand Hyatt deal wasn't just Trump's first big success, it was a blueprint for how he would operate for decades. Use aggressive negotiation tactics, leverage political connections to secure favorable deals, create a high-profile success to build his brand. It was the first real example of Trump's business strategy, one that would make him famous, wealthy, and later, one of the most polarizing figures in American politics. So, what do you think? Was this a brilliant business move or an example of corporate greed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.